Welcome to Always Real Talk. I'm Kwame Brown. In the studio with me, I finally have the one and only Raggedy Royal, the super influencer. Hey, but you know I'm a little biased because I know a little something about Raggedy Royal. Many of you know, hey, this is my daughter, and I finally had a chance to get her on the show. And the reason why it's so important that I wanted to have her on the show is because we have so many people that are out protesting. We have so many people that are upset, that are frustrated, that are mad. So many people that are looking at ways to get involved to create change. Raggedy Royal, welcome to Always Real Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And we hear from those folks in the civil rights movement. We hear from those folks in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. And now I want to hear from the 2020 folks just turned 18. Raggedy Royal, tell me, you know, this is a sad time in America. What's going on? It's painful. You and I, we're seeing this. We're very frustrated at what's taking place. What do you think about what's happened with George Floyd and what's been going on with the killing of black people here in America?
Definitely. It's definitely been a traumatic experience for a lot of Black people in America. And I honestly think that it's the last straw. It's the straw that breaks the camel's back. So we've had a problem with police brutality for years upon years upon years. But now we've had enough. And I think that is very important that people are showcasing their emotions in political ways, such as uprisings, such as petitions, voting, donations. I think that we're making a lot of change, and I'm proud of it. But also because we're in the middle of a pandemic, so it's very unsafe already to go out into uprisings. But now we have, on top of police brutality, the coronavirus. So a lot of people do not feel safe going outside of their homes to protest. So now we've had to get creative with our technology, using social media platforms, using phones, going to different websites and doing petitions, donations, sharing the word with links via your cell phone. And I think that Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube have been great platforms to get the word out.
Right, and I know that you have friends that were that are out participating in the protest. I know we have friends that are neighbors that are out putting up signs and asking people to get involved. And then you have something that you shared with me, and that was, you wanted to see a list of people that are either making statements or making contributions to the cause. I just want people to know that, hey, this is your first time voting. You went and voted today. I see it. So tell me about your first time voting. What are some of the things you thought about? Because you made a decision, there was no influence. Clearly, I talked to you. You told me to shut up. It's because you was doing your own research and your own homework. What are some of the things that you were just looking at, and what you're going to be looking at in November also when it comes to candidates?
Definitely. So, because of the technology and the use of technology that I was talking about earlier, I looked at that when I looked at the candidates for today. So, how are you using your influence and your platform? Because when you are a political candidate, you do have a platform. How are you using that to talk about the current things that are going on? We have these certain issues that are always going to be talked about. Somebody's going to always talk about education. They're going to talk about politics. They're going to speak on those things. But how are you talking about the coronavirus? How are you talking about police brutality? Those sorts of things was what I was looking for, especially as a young person in my first time voting. What are you saying with your platform? How are you using it?
Right. And did you find the candidates that you researched, did you find that everyone was talking about the issue that the whole country is talking about? Did you find them interested in the things that you're interested in? I know, for an example, sometimes, some of us just say, hey, we want economic development, we want education. I know those are just cookie cutters for you. You have things that go deeper into that. And how did the candidates weigh in terms of when you researched?
Definitely, I think that those things are cookie cutters and they are very important. However, I feel like candidates now into today's age, 2020, need to go the extra step. So, how I found people, there were candidates who were talking about it, and there were candidates who were not. Just as there's some companies who are talking about it, some companies who are not, some celebrities. So, I already knew that that was going to happen, but I just wanted to find who is talking about it.
Right. And are you talking, since you're 18 and you know a lot of other folks that are 18, you guys are all voting now, right? So everyone's talking about voting. I know you're excited about voting. We took pictures and videos of you voting. What does this election mean to you outside of being the first time to vote?
This election is definitely a hard one to have the first time to vote because of our political climate. We're in turmoil right now. So my vote matters more than ever. And it is a lot of pressure because it's my first time voting. You want to just have an easy voting process where you're like, this is clearly who I want, and this is this and this is that. But it takes a lot of critical research, and I'm glad that I'm stepping up to the plate and taking the responsibility, and that other young folks around me are doing the same.
They're doing the same. Now, clearly you're an influencer, right? And there are a lot of influencers out there. You're a super influencer. I think you're a super duper influencer, but that's me. Follow her at Raggedy Royal, but more importantly, a lot of people are following you. You have over 100,000 people that are following you on Instagram, on TikTok, and all the different apps. You are the hottest, one of the hottest things out there right now. What are people saying to you as they look to what's going on in the country?
People are saying one notion: use your platform. And that goes for me, that goes for celebrities, that goes for politicians. Use your platform. The job of an influencer is to influence people to take action, whether with their dollars or with what they're talking about in their conversation. So it's literally your job to influence people in the right direction, what you see fit. And the right direction right now is talking about what's going on in the news, what's going on Capitol Hill, what's going on in Minneapolis. That is my job, and I take it very seriously. So I think that a lot of other influencers, we all need to be held to the same standard. Everybody just needs to speak up and speak out.
Now, you and I, we had conversations, right? And I was like, hey, they're looting the Target store in Minneapolis. And what did you tell me?
Well, that store was funding the Minneapolis Police Department. These are things that you learn on Twitter. You're not going to learn this on the news. They're not going to tell you all the sides of the situation on the news because there is a bias. But that's why you need to be on social media. You need to see different firsthand accounts. People talking about how they got tear gas at a protest. You're not going to see that on the news, but you're going to see somebody's firsthand account. So making sure that, of course, you keep your mental health together, and you can't be on these apps all day. It's traumatizing. But definitely figuring out there's more ways to find research than turning on your TV.
Right, and you mentioned that Target was funding the Minneapolis Police Department, but that really wasn't what really sparked it. You mentioned that the protesters were going in to get milk or something like that.
Hmm. And they weren't accommodated. So these are things that you find out, doing your own research and looking on social media rather than just seeing the one side. We all know that the target was looted, but we don't all know why the target was looted. So that's very
Right,
important.
and basically you're saying the target was hit because these young folks, they went in there, or protesters went in there to buy milk, and when they went there to buy milk, they were denied, and they were
Hmm.
denied and treated in an unfair way, and that's what caused the entire spark in terms of the target itself. Now, one of the other things that I just think that I think your grandfather would be very, very proud of is you was talking to me about, as an influencer, their brands. And there are brands that you support and there's brands that you promote, right? And some people just care about getting, their numbers up, getting the number of people that follow them up, and they don't care about the consequences of the brands that they promote. But what I was touched about is you doing something different with the brands that you promote. What exactly are you doing?
So I have been composing a list of brands who have and who haven't spoken up. So when I say spoken up, I mean posting things on their social media, whether it be their static post on their Instagram or their story, while it should be both, just taking account of who's speaking for us. Because there's nothing that's louder than the dollar. Okay, I can sit here and talk all day, but if I put my wallet away, that holds a lot of power. So I just wanted to compose a list and put it all in one space because there's a lot of talk about what did this brand do, what did that brand do. If one person just takes a list and says, okay, they did this, they did this, they did this, it's easier to figure out where we need to spend our dollars, especially as Black consumers and as allies.
Right. And when you start to talk about some of those brands that you've decided, hey, I'm only going to support those brands that are talking about, what's going on, sympathetic to what happened to George Floyd and his family, as well as other African Americans, those brands that have not said anything, because I think you had a two-part piece to this, right? One, have they made any statement? And then two, you have a list of those people that also have donated to the cause. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, that's very important to me because these are million billion dollar companies. So you need to put your money where your mouth is. Yes, you made a graphic and you posted it. That's fantastic. But in this day and age, we need change that's going to come be more than a black fist on your page. You have billions. You have a marketing team, financial teams. You have billions of dollars. Put some to the cause.
Right, right. And you're doing the research to understand this too, right?
Hmm.
Because you have to look up every company. We saw Nike come out. Let's look at their ad. And as you can see, Nike's come out with that strong ad. Do you know any other companies that have come out? Let's say the products that you support and that you use on your face that we get, thousands of boxes that come to the house. Are any of those products that have come across to support the cause that you want to promote?
There have been a lot of companies, but I want to spotlight one in specific, which is Glossier, because what they have done is monumental. So they have donated $500,000 to the Black Lives Matter organization, but specifically to be used to start Black beauty brands. So people who want to do Black beauty brands and makeup, that money will go to them, and it is very focused. It's a lot of money. That's $500,000, and you're putting your money where your mouth is. It's saying, okay, I've done enough research to do more than throw up Black Lives Matter because I heard somebody else say it. So
Right.
I can't wait to put in my order with Glossier tonight. I'm gonna order a whole bunch of
Now
stuff.
let's make sure we got to give them props. This Glossier.
Yes.
All right, all right, and you can find them. Go check out Glossier. Look, they as she just mentioned, donated $500,000 to really to start and support black-owned product lines. Right?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they've made other donations, but that's what spoke to me because that shows that you've done your research and you've thought about what you're doing, and you're not just doing it because some influencers asked you to.
Okay, okay. Now, anything else that's out there that's, you know, people are, I noticed that you haven't, put any post online about the stuff that you normally post. It seems as though there are a lot of people that are just going silent on the everyday things and only are focused on this particular cause.
Yes, that is just what makes sense to me. There's bigger things to talk about right now. Everybody knows I can do makeup. I can do makeup later, but right now we need to talk about this. And I just want to show some sort of sensitivity and respect for the people who are losing their lives at protests, the people who have lost their lives due to police brutality. Makeup can wait.
So, as we come to a close, what are some of the places people can go? I know that you've been researching it. Where can they go to make donations to the cause that's positive?
Okay, so there's this great resource that has compiled all the places that you can make donations, where to call and text, petitions, and how to help protesters. So basically, it is Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matters. So Black Lives Matters with an S after lives, S after matters, dot card with two R's dot co. And it's in my Instagram bio at Raggedy Royal. So if you didn't catch it, you can catch it there. So yeah, that's a great resource. If you want to help the medics, you want to help the protesters, you can pick specifically what organizations and find how to help everybody involved.
Okay, and that's Black Lives Matters
Dot card with two R's dot co.
.co. There you go. You can see it on the screen. Black Lives Matters dot hard two R's,
Yeah.
right?
Dot co. Yes.
.gov. .gov.
Co. Co.
.co. All right, .co. Look at the screen. There it is right there on the screen. You can see it on the screen. Hey, I'll mess it up. That's why we have a screen to make sure we put it on the screen. But hold up. Make sure you vote today. If you're in the District of Columbia, you got from now to June 2nd. Go vote. Go vote because 2020, what? Absolutely. It fucking matters. You want this t-shirt? A lot of people have been asking me, hey, where do I get that t-shirt? She's got one of those t-shirts on. Hers is censored though, as you can see. Let's take a look at it. See, hers is censored, right? She says, Dad, I got on the wrong t-shirt. She's 18 now. She wants the real
And
t-shirt.
mine has the
But
curse words on it. This is my brother's.
yeah, that's her brother. Hers has the curse words on. But look, go out to see my good friend Atiba at Politics USA. His information is online. You want one of these t-shirts. More importantly, get out there and vote. Voting is important. Okay, Raggedy Royals, anything that you want to tell our listeners from your generation?
Hold everybody accountable. Silence is very loud in this day and age, and you need to hold everybody with a platform or everybody who doesn't have a platform accountable to speak the truth.
Okay, and let me ask you a question. How do you hold those people accountable?
So when it came to the brands, emailing them. I'm disappointed that you haven't said anything about Black lives, as you have many Black consumers and Black influencers on your PR list. Just something as simply as, are you going to make a statement? What's going on? You have a big platform. You could do it like this, or even sending the link. Hey, could you promote this link? This link is very important to help Black people in America right now. Could you promote this link? Could you put this on your story? Could you tweet this? That's a great
You
way.
need to get on social media and ask them that question. If you see your local politicians that haven't made a statement, hey, you need to ask them that question. If you see politicians that made a statement but it doesn't meet any of their actions that they've been doing over the last 4 years, you need to make a statement about that too. Some people are just jumping on the bandwagon, right? They're like, oh yeah, I really care, but they haven't done anything. And when things come up when you really need them, you can't find them at all. And here at Always Real Talk, we're done with that. We are
Open your mouth and open your purse.
Raggedy Royal. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Finally, at the end of the day, until every killing is seen as a human life and not a Black life, we won't have changes here in the U.S. So if it's Always Real Talk, it's going to be.